Hello and welcome out to Gamers Council. I'm one of your hosts, David Anthony, and the other host, my co-host, RHETRI. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, how's it going? Glad to be here. And we got Hargeet. I'm super excited to have him on the show.
We
Love
are.
it.
He's a little tired because he's been at PAX and hanging out with the Iron
busy.
Lords, which is awesome. I'm sure he's going to tell us a little bit about that as well. But Hargeet, welcome, man. Thank you so much for being on tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it was fun last night hanging out with the Iron Lords. Yeah, we had a little podcast thing, and I don't know if that's already up or not, but it'll be up soon enough. And we had a nice chat during dinner. It was great, and looking forward to meeting everybody at E3. It'll be fun there.
Going to be great. Going to be a lot of people there. I'm still working on it. We'll see. Kind of depends on the family thing going on, but other than that, if not this year, for next year for sure. But man, oh wow, so much going on. RHETRI, what's the starter topic tonight?
Well, tonight we're talking two main topics here. Of course, if the chat wants to go, have us go in a completely different direction, we're always down for that. Just like we did last week, we started going off on a tangent on Last of Us. We went on a tangent, spoiler free, sort of. So yeah, we're talking CMA, the latest things that are going on with the CMA and how they've basically kind of 180'd on us recently, and we're going to talk Hellblade 2 in the meta-human UE5 demo that came out and all the hotness that came with that. And there's some other topics if we have time. There's some Fortnite stuff also having to do with UE5 that we might mention time permitting. But yeah, so CMA, Hellblade, those are the big topics for tonight, guys. And of course, chat, don't forget, you guys can control the conversation. So if you want to talk about something different, you let us know, and we will start talking about that subject anytime you put out a statement or a question in chat. So let's get into it, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess the big thing was the kind of, I wouldn't say backpedaling, but it was more of a reevaluation of
light bulb.
Exactly. Hey,
light bulb moment.
And behind the scenes, I actually just got through with an interview, which will go up next week on my channel, with Luke Steele, and he was stressing that this is definitely he's only seen it happen one other time since he's been a lawyer, that they've actually made these kind of changes to what their second look at was, and so that's not unprecedented, but very, very rare,
very highly unusual.
Happens. Exactly. Yeah. So Hargeet, what are your opinions about this, and how do you think things are going?
Yeah, I mean, look, I kind of expected this is where it was going to go. Look, there's an assumption from our side of the world that this is obvious stuff. Sony's the market leader. Look, these regulators, they have to look at everything that exists. Anybody buying anything, right? It could be a cosmetics company. It could be a agriculture company. They don't know everything about everything. They don't, right? And they basically take inputs and try to figure out what's going on, right? And they took Sony's word for it, assuming they were upstanding citizens in the gaming world, right? And it turned out it was a lot of, Sony baloney. And eventually they,
I like that new term that you've coined. So Sony baloney. It's gonna stick.
They analyzed the numbers and said, okay, no, you're right, Microsoft. It doesn't really make sense for you to take this game out. It would just be billions lost. Why would you do that, right?
Right.
And ultimately, from you, as far as how much it costs to make this game, you'd be losing money. It just doesn't make sense for you to do that. There may be gains way down the road, but it's not going to help you now, where you'd be losing a lot of money for a long time. And that isn't a realistic thing. And ultimately, the fact that you have one game is not going to end Sony or Nintendo or you, or it's one game, right? So they essentially looked at the reality of this, and now it's come down to the thing that still stands, and it's valid. In this new growing cloud market, the entirety of ABK, would that help you gain too much of a market share? That's a valid concern, and it's something Microsoft has been working to fix. Right. And, all of them have kind of come to this stuff, the FTC, of course, which we'll get into. But, the EC had already dropped this. It doesn't matter. They're only looking at the cloud as an SLC, and they're looking for what Microsoft has done. And they've done a lot to make that an issue, not an issue. And then there might be more things that they still have to do to help the EC get to their level. the CMA get to their, conclusion that, yeah, okay, it's all right. The FTC, I think, is going to now, based on all this, they're going to come to the negotiating table as well and try to get their concessions, because otherwise it gets tossed out. They get nothing, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But so I think this is kind of wrapping up at this point. But yeah, it mostly was the fact that they took Sony's word for it and didn't look at the industry. Brazil actually did a pretty good job doing just that. They took Sony's stuff,
really did,
everybody's stuff, and said, yeah, but that's baloney. I don't see the value here of what you're saying. You're too big to be like saying that this is going to kill you. So they actually did a very good job of whatever they put out. And that seemed to be exactly where people have landed. They also saw the cloud market as nascent. They're right. It's not something that's established, and there's no guarantees it'll actually go anywhere. Right. So it probably won't. Most gamers aren't interested in latency laden cloud. It could work if you're right next to a city, right? It's possible, but in a lot of the world, like the areas you want to target are areas where they can't afford a console. And for those areas, say the entire continent of Africa, there's like 1 or 2 data centers. That is a massive continent to have like 1 data center. You'd have to have it everywhere to make that even viable. If you look at like places like Malaysia, India, whatever, right? So again, so Malaysia has Singapore, thank God for them, right? But that might make it viable. Indonesia is kind of far. It starts to get bad, right? Japan is a good place, but Japan has like some of the richest people as far as like value, their wealth status per capita. I don't think they care. They can buy a console. It's not that big a deal. So this is kind of the thing. I don't know that cloud is a viable thing. It may be, it may not be, right? But I think that the Activision answer is more like what's going to happen. They just basically said, we evaluated the market. We think your devices are going to get so much power in the next 10 years. It's irrelevant. I don't see the cloud being a thing. You'll play it on your phone and it'll have the same power as your current console. So why do I care? At that point, you can play 1440p, 1080p, 4K, whatever, right on your device.
Right.
I don't see the point in wasting time on cloud. That was where their mindset is. That's where my mindset is. And I think that's right. Your TV will have enough power locally to just play games. You'll just have a PlayStation app on your TV. Get your PlayStation games, right? An EA app or whatever app. You'll just have that and then play their games. I think that's where it's going to end up. But so we'll see, right? So the cloud thing, yeah, it's a market. It's possibly a thing, but I don't know if it's that big a deal. So I don't see any of them blocking it based on that.
Right.
But they'll still try to do all these deals and make sure that, for the next whatever years, you're allowing other participants to play in this and see if it goes somewhere. That's fair. So this is great news as far as like the realities, the check it in reality of what is actually happening in the market. The more fun part is what happens to Sony now that they've marked themselves by saying these are things that are anti-competitive. These are things that are anti-consumer. And oh, by the way, we check all these boxes.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Right. So we'll see if that hurts them. Right. Ultimately, like if they want to go buy somebody, you think everybody else is going to say, "Oh, that's fine," or they're going to say, hang on. You said this was all bad. Are you gonna now just be able to buy somebody? I don't know. We'll see. And the last thing that came out was we're in a trade agreement with Japan, and the senator for Washington came out and said,
"Yep,
I don't know if this is such a good thing in Japan. You got this massive monopoly, and according to everybody, it's just Xbox and PlayStation, and you got 98% or 96% to 2 or 4, whatever percent.
Right,
that's a monopoly. What are you doing about it?" So we'll see. We'll see where all that goes, right? It could mean that the JFTC, the equivalent of our FTC, might have to do some digging and say, well, okay, you can't, Sony do all these weird deals now. You can't block content from going to other platforms. We'll see where it ends up, right? So this could be some interesting times for Sony, based on what what they created for themselves. But I mean, ultimately, I knew it was going to end up here because, like, it's just time. They had to do the digging. The first phase was listen to the participants and see what comes out. And then the second phase is dig in, find out what the industry is actually about, and then figure out what matters, right? And they did their job. That's really it. Ultimately, they did their job, and it came out to the right conclusion. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I do find it very odd, though, that because basically Microsoft had to call them out on bad arithmetic.
Yep.
A very, very, very odd thing that they did was they used their financial model was comparing a 5-year basis on losses against a 1-year basis.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the hell they got away with it. Well, they didn't get away with it, right? Because Microsoft was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, how can you compare a 5-to-1 ratio of losses against gains? Like, how do you get away with that? I know there's like this whole theory of per consumer, like your LFT, your lifetime value of a consumer
LTV,
goes down over time, which kind of makes sense, I guess. But it's like you said, like Brazil really did their homework, right? They stepped it up, and it looks like they actually looked at the numbers. They nailed it right away. They didn't use Common Core math, which apparently the CMA must have. I don't know, but no offense to Common Core people, because it's just odd to me that I was reading this. I was looking at all these articles, and I'm just like, how the hell did the CMA ever think they were going to get away with doing 5 years on one side and 1 year on the other? Like, it just kind of blew my mind. I was like, well, it's just like everything we've been saying since the beginning, where we're looking at everything Sony was saying, and we're like, this is going to be a field day for Microsoft lawyers. It's going to be so easy for them to just destroy every single one of their talking points. And luckily the CMA is coming around, because I know personally for me, I've been on the show. I've talked to Luke Steele personally on Boom Show, and he may be a little. I was a little scared of the CMA. CMA has kind of always been like the thorn in the side of this deal going through, and I was a little bit worried. Not a lot of it worried, but that they were the one regulatory body that I was going, are they gonna screw us? Because at the end of the day, Luke has always said stuff like, just remember, these are people. People, no matter what, they have biases. Like, we really don't know. Are they getting paid? Like, we don't really know what's going on. At the end of the day, if someone has a bad day, maybe they just want to screw over Microsoft. You really don't know. Yeah. Right? But we are moving on to now the cloud topic of the CMA, in which Microsoft they're just making deals left and right. I mean, it feels good to me. Like the tides have definitely turned, right? You got Microsoft, who's made deals with Nintendo, Boosteroid, Ubisoft, or however the heck you say that service that Nintendo uses to push their own cloud games. NVIDIA, GeForce Now. I mean, one of the Microsoft execs, I can't remember who the heck it was. Maybe remember Hargeet. Someone said last week on Twitter that there's more news coming out very soon. Journalists.
I think it was Brad Smith.
Was it Brad who said it? Okay.
I think it was Brad.
All right. Somebody had said it. Like, basically, journalists, like, watch out. I think that could be Amazon. Personally, I've been saying on Boom Show for weeks. Like, I think they're working with Amazon right now. Not that it's huge, but guys, Amazon did just start pushing out to other major countries, which they were not a part of before. So that became just a much bigger deal if Amazon were to get COD, possibly other Bethesda games or other.
I mean, the
Microsoft
way Amazon works, it could very well work, right? You can create a Microsoft channel and go to town, right? Use their infrastructure and play your games. It'll be all the PC games, because it just runs Windows. So just run all the PC games, and they could give them the same license they give to NVIDIA. Go ahead, buy our games, play them there. We don't care, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, most definitely. Quick comment on the part though, that they are the only thing from my standpoint, looking at it, it's a 10 years on the cloud, and right now, like Hargeet was saying, cloud isn't totally viable, especially across the country. Yeah, but in 5-8 years from now,
right,
technology, I mean, it could be. And not necessarily to the specs that we, the console in your living room would be. Yeah. But I mean, it can definitely, the room for improvement is there. And if they really plow into the technology and really build it up, I mean, it could be a viable force for gaming. It could be. Like I said, it may not be.
You never know.
Potential's there. And at least if they say 10 years on everybody, I mean, that kind of lets them give everybody room to grow to see if it does meet that, that mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got Elon, using satellites to get internet across the entire globe, which is going to make him even more money. It's going to be crazy all the contracts he's going to be getting.
Oh yeah.
So you're talking, and from what I hear, the latency on those are better than what I'm getting, for God's sakes. So there's that. Not that you have like, I think it's like 100 down. I have no Hargeet, I would have bet so much money that the latency would have been higher. I don't understand how.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I heard it was between like 40, 50, which unfortunately beats me in a lot of scenarios.
Alien technology, that's probably my dad.
Maybe. I don't know.
I do want to say welcome everybody that's in the chat. Over 28 people right now. And thank you all so much for being here. And gotta really read this one out, Hargeet. This is really nice for Hargeet.
Abdel, so happy to see Hargeet on the show. This man deserves double the speaking time on his current podcast. All right, we're just gonna make Hargeet talk the entire time. We'll just ask him all the questions. Go.
But no, I tell you, and then now that you're pretty much, RDX panel member, I would say, plus you do a lot of great.
Is that official?
But
it sure feels like it.
Talk to the dealer at some point, but yeah,
dealer will pull the trigger at some point, I'm sure. I'm just giving you enough rope just to see if you hang yourself first, and then. But no, dealer's great, and you do a great job on that show. And then and all the content that you do, of course, with Game On Daily too is awesome. Mm-hmm. So. Look forward to that every time you're on, and when you're on Boom Show as well. So awesome.
Yeah. We'll be doing more with Game On Daily. Where I just was talking to Gas today. We're trying to figure out the next steps. Right, a lot of that was XNC actually kind of blocked some of the things we were going to do, but we'll see what we could do, and hopefully everything will line up. But him, new job, doing Colt's show, and it was just killing.
Yeah,
it was too much. But we plan to do a lot more, so we will actually do a lot more stuff. So,
well, I look forward to being a guest on the Hargeet Show. Just saying,
the Hargeet Show. Well, you can come on to Game On Daily. We definitely always bring people on. So,
very true.
All right.
Yeah, they just I think they just had someone spicy on there, didn't they? Didn't they have a PlayStation guy? Yeah. I said spicy. Like a Puerto Rock, he's fine. Like, you know what I mean? But I do appreciate. I love that Gaz does that though on his show. I love that he purposely tries to get someone on once like kind of polar opposites on topics. It makes for really interesting conversations, which is something I think we have to have more on the internet here.
Wandering Dutch in the chat. Hargeet.
What's up, Hargeet? What's up, Wandering Dutch?
Wandering Dutch. So awesome having you here, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's. Shall we move on? I don't know, Dave. What's your thoughts on the CMA before we move on? Like, I know we've talked about this. We're on a bunch of podcasts. But I just want to get your 2 cents in before we move on to Hellblade.
Sure. Let's see. I'm one of those that are like 100% it's going to get done. But I speak from that as a point of somebody who's trying to will it in existence. I'm trying. I have no behind the scenes knowledge. I have nothing like that at all. It's just a matter of it feels right now, especially the momentum really feels like that it's going to go through. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I'd love to have this all wrapped up before E3. That would be amazing. I'm sure Phil and the crew would just absolutely. They probably have a plan in place. So here's what's going to happen.
Like a plan A, plan B, just in case.
Exactly. Yeah. For dates, like if it happened tomorrow.
Yes.
Here's what I guarantee you the meeting is ready to go when they're ready to go. So, and there's even been, I guess, some people have noticed. I didn't see it myself, but I did see some of the screenshots that like some of the when you're on the PC version of
Candy Crush you're talking about?
Yeah, the Candy Crush and stuff like that.
Yeah,
popped up. Like it's down now, but it's like interesting. Why would they just getting ready?
Feeling good, man. Hey, you never know what could come to Game Pass, even if for some miracle happened and this thing didn't happen. Like who knows? Like look, I don't know if Sony's gonna be getting many deals if this were to go like fall through. Are they seriously gonna give deals, marketing deals or anything ever again to Sony after they just effed Activision. Like I don't see it, right? I know, you know, money talks, but man, you'd be hurting Activision, shareholders and all. They'd be pretty pissed off at Sony if this was to fall through, which I don't think is happening anyways. But you know,
and the only little thing I'll say on that
there.
is that if it for some reason this didn't happen, for people that are saying, you know, well, Activision would never work with Sony, bullshit.
Yeah,
because
well,
Sony
money,
has
right?
such a large stake of the market. They're the market leaders. You know, things may not be as good and rosy or get everything they want like they had in the past, but they would definitely still work with Sony because
100%,
to, right?
Yeah, to survive. Yeah, for their own survival. Absolutely. Like absolutely. I totally agree with that. I wasn't trying to say that they wouldn't work with them.
Oh, no,
I think more along like the marketing deals, the parity BS of extra, you know, levels or anything or modes. I think those days are done for Activision as a whole, even under Microsoft.
Before you keep going there, read
Phil Jesus Spencer. I love the name and the avatar. On my Microsoft rewards a few days ago, I saw that had a tile for Candy Crush, but sadly wasn't able to download. Yeah, I saw it as well. So,
oh man,
it's a matter of time, right?
Candy Crush on Xbox. Oh.
Candy, woo, everyone. I love all the people on Twitter be like, you just paid $70 million so you can get Candy Crush on your Xbox. Like, oh, shut up. That's not what it's about.
You know who's gonna go laughing to the bank? Microsoft.
Right.
They're gonna make
you
money.
Know what?
They don't care.
Want to know something? I'm gonna play it. I will probably play it. Just like I played Peggle and a bunch of other I played Vampire Survivors. Everyone was like, dude, it looks stupid. It was one of the best games I played in a long time. So stick it.
Vampire Survivors is great.
So good. Oh man.
Still play Hextras, which was that free game that they gave away on the original OG Xbox.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that one. Thank you, chat, for coming out tonight. Appreciate you guys all being here and being lively and active in the chat. That's what we would like to see. Don't forget, if you guys want to talk about something in particular, just put it out there, and we'll probably put it up here for everyone to see, and we'll start talking about whatever it is that you want to talk about, including Candy Crush. So,
but I know we got something else in the chamber we're planning on talking about because that's the thumbnail.
Yeah, so we want to show the Hellblade thing here. So basically, this is the UE5 demo, and it's also the trailer behind it. But I will kill the audio on the trailer itself. But let's just add this real quick. Make sure I did that right. I think we're good. Yeah.
Sign, perf, cut, take 13.
Ooh. I see through your darkness now. I see through your lies. I will show them how to see as I do. I will not appease your gods. I will destroy them. Good? You like it?
Amazing.
There it is.
Absolutely
there it is,
amazing.
folks. It is.
And I liked how she used the speech that Phil is going to give to Sony.
Wow.
You like that, didn't you?
Oh, Dave decided to be spicy today. I love it. Oh,
I've
man.
been going with the Empire Strikes Back one. I've altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Yes, that's so great.
Right? Yeah. Here's your 10-year contract. Let me burn it.
So funny.
Oh man, part of me would be slightly a little bit happy if they did that. I know they won't because that's not Microsoft 2023. But man, I kind of wish they would be like, well, you effed with us. You effed with us. Now we're gonna kick you in the teeth. Here it goes.
Yeah,
so
obviously for Spider-Man and Wolverine, I want those in Game Pass. Yeah, you can have that.
That's right. You can have
barter with you now.
let's do a trade.
Let me go
Fair
to
is
paragraph
fair.
12 where you said COD is the only game that matters and our games suck. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'll take your sucky games and you can have COD.
Exactly.
That's right.
We can
We're gonna
deal.
borrow Insomniac. We want to make we're Team Green. We want to make a Hulk game. We just need to borrow them for a couple of years. Hey, they're the fastest developers on the planet Earth, right? We only need them for a couple of years, guys, and then we'll give you COD. There you go. You're welcome.
Goodness.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, just a quick shout out in the chat. 3-Bit, thank you so much for being here. And they also
what's
made
up,
you a
brother?
moderator just so you'd have the power to wield any way at your discretion, sir. Anybody that I know like that's been on Boom Show, I'll do that for him. And Hargeet, I can do that for
Just
you too. if you want.
auto mod them.
Exactly. So yeah,
this is obviously the trailer too. I decided to show this. I also get some other footage that we'll be showing just in the background, kind of as we talk about Hellblade and the amazingness that is as UE5. I know myself and Umbra, we are UE5 stands. I know that gets old for people. Like, not every game needs to be on UE5, and I agree with that. But that doesn't mean I don't have to love what is coming out of this engine and just how crazy improved it has gotten. I mean, we just got Hogwarts that was in UE4 that just blew my mind. We got Redfall that we thought was going to be in UE5. Turns out it's actually, they stopped at UE 4.26, which is fine, whatever. Like, I just played Hogwarts, which is one of the best games I played in the last 10 years. So Redfall being in 4.26 is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? People tend to forget this stuff takes time. It takes years. It's not, I know UE5 is easier. It's not as easy as flipping a switch. Anyone who actually does development would know it's not as easy as it sounds to just upgrade to the next engine. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time and it's a lot of moolah, right? So yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about what we just saw. And the transformation that was supposed to see, I still don't know. I'm just going to say this now. I still don't know if the beginning shot, I think that whole dang thing that we just saw in the beginning was motion capture. I don't think I've heard conflicting stories that the beginning of it was actually her and then it was a transfer over to the graphics, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone can correct me. Maybe Hargeet, or maybe someone in the chat knows. Wandering Dutch might know. To me, I thought the whole dang thing was motion capture. Hence, the whole purpose was to show her at the end in the rig. But I don't know. Do you know, Hargeet, if the whole thing was motion capture?
To me, like all of that was in engine.
Yeah.
Right.
Except for the end where they're showing you this is how we capture her saying all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because she wasn't in makeup or anything, right? So that whole part was like what is supposed to be in UE, right? What you're actually getting in the game. And then this is how they captured her face while they were trying to, give you the in-game version of that, right? So I assume all of that is in game, right? Everything in there up to that MetaHuman logo was all in game, and then they show you how they did the actual capture with the camera on her on her face, right?
It's probably hard for her to get like in a costume to match and all that kind of stuff. If that was, if that really was,
it'd be crazy, right? So,
but
why do it,
right?
So,
but
that's
there
the
are
point,
people
right?
that speculating it. That's
that's the entire point because
they can't believe it. Right.
Because half the internet thought that was literally her. And they're like, no. It's like X amount of like 17 seconds into the video, it switches to motion capture. And I'm like, is it? Or is that motion capture the whole damn time? If you have to argue that, that's the point. That's the entire point, guys. That's how good. That's how damn good it is, right?
I tell you something. Let's drop this in the chat real quick because 3-Bit is actually a digital animator who works on like the Aflac commercials, and this is his comment.
3-Bit mocapped performance dropped into the engine almost instantly with real-time performance as an example of how quick they can now drop in their
performance. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
So good.
Yep.
It's wow. Thank you, 3-Bit.
And that's
I appreciate
technology that's available, right? So it's not like it's a Ninja Theory thing. This is just, Unreal giving that to people. I can just imagine how many more of those can be out there now, right? So Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah,
Let's see more
I mean,
games with
I'm just blown away by. I mean, Hellblade. If anyone played Hellblade 1, you would know that this small team at the time of 2020 devs, like, just basically stepped it out and just kind of blew everyone out of the water with their motion capture and their visuals in Hellblade 1. But now you got Hellblade 2. Now you have Microsoft money. Now you got multiple trips to Iceland. Now you got now you're working on Quixel. Now you got all kinds of backup that you didn't have before. And this isn't a team of 20 anymore. This is a team of 150. Now, I'm not saying, from what I've heard, it's not all of Ninja Theory that's actually working on Hellblade 2. They also working on Project Mara, which is like a psychological horror game that they got going on, which I think is going to actually push UE5 possibly further than Hellblade. They're doing some really cool stuff. Ninja Theory definitely feels like a team that knows what the heck they're doing. They got some really smart people under them. I'm more excited now than ever that Microsoft acquired these guys in 2018. We've seen their studio, is now 6 times the size that it used to be. I think that's exciting. That's what you need to do, right? You need to get organic growth, or what the hell Sony guys call it. Like, I like to see, a small teams, and when they're super good at what they do, you need to expand that team. You need to give that team a budget and more people under you and make it work. So I'm super excited to see what this team is going to do. I'm going to pop up this their first Iceland. Their first Iceland trip. Oh, my bad.
That was me. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Their first Iceland trip. This was 2020, I think they went. This is when they were working with Quixel too, to map out the terrain for, so this is taking place in Iceland, obviously a long time ago. But the whole idea that they've taken, I think, I could be wrong on this, but I know they've done at least 2. I think they've taken 3 trips to Iceland. Now, this is to capture the data, for the environment. They had their audio team and a band going out there making music and creating and recording what you're seeing, like environmental sounds and whatnot, so they can get the right audio space too. So you got 3D audio going for these guys. I mean, the stuff that they have done. I think Wandering Dutch mentioned this in one of his podcasts, that they are basically taking using photogrammetry and taking her wardrobes and made prop weapons and used photogrammetry, took thousands of pictures, and that's what's literally getting imported into the game. Just like UE5 does, just like Epic does themselves for a lot of their own stuff, for other people to use in their engine. Ninja Theory has been working for years doing this. So it's not going to, a lot of the stuff isn't going to have that CGI kind of type of look to it. It's going to look photorealistic, because you're actually going to be possibly holding and carrying an axe, you know what I mean, that looks real. I think that's super exciting. This is the audio guys right here, going through caves and whatnot, getting different sounds and stuff. It's just, I guess I'm absolutely blown away by what this team, the lengths that they've gone to make Hellblade, the detail,
Most
to make
definitely.
this experience for us, hopefully our God of War. I know that's like, people get annoyed by comparing what Hellblade is doing to stuff like, but whatever, it is what it is, right? Some of us want those experiences. I know Boom loves those experiences. I know Dave does. I love those types of experiences where it's a cinematic experience too, as long as the gameplay is good. But I think it's exciting for Xbox guys to start seeing, the fruits of the labor of all these acquisitions, and things are happening. John Wolf, RSJ, so many people here this evening. Yes, absolutely, John Wolf. RSJ is awesome. Second here. So I don't know. What do you guys? What are your thoughts on Hellblade 2 in general, and what you're seeing on screen?
Go ahead, Hargeet.
Yeah, so the premise of Hellblade was interesting. I played the first one, finished it. It's certainly an interesting premise of delving into somebody's mental issues and going through that journey. But that also is not an equivalent to, say, God of War, right? Because that's a very mythos-based story. So you have a different capability and onset there that you're a god, literally. I don't know where they're going with this, so that's the part that's interesting, right? Because this is like all-out war against gods. At least that's what she's saying, and like that could be very interesting as to where it's going, right?
Right.
Would you actually be able to do things that gods can do because you're taking on gods? I don't know, right? So this is an interesting premise altogether. We'll see where they go with it. As far as the tech, I mean, these guys are crazy. They do all sorts of stuff with a small team. What they did was amazing with the first one, right? So I'm not worried about the tech. Of course, being part of Xbox, they're going to get a whole bunch of scrutiny because they're part of Xbox. Yeah, whatever. That's just gonna happen.
Yeah,
which is sad. It really is sad. It's like everything
is.
has to be so much above everybody else because Xbox sucks or something. Like I
there's
just
like
don't
an
look at it
asterisk
that way.
with everything that Xbox
Right,
is involved in, right?
Whatever. I mean, it's a development studio doing what they can, and you should just appreciate the art they're giving you. But whatever, right? It is what it is. So there's
100%.
going to be extra scrutiny because of that. Outside of that, just looking at where they are, it looks pretty amazing. If this is a good UE5 tech demo, if this comes at this year, right at the end of this year, and it's like the first big UE5 game, man, is this going to be so interesting to see? Like, where does this take us, right?
Right.
Have we had, besides Fortnite, have we had a UE5 game? I don't know if we've had that many, right? Maybe one or
I
two.
don't think anything. I think some games have used UE5 partially. Like there's some like beginning UIs in a game that have used UE5. I can't recall, but I don't know if anything's used it through and through. Right.
Yeah, so this will probably be the big first UE5 tech demo, as it were, right? As a game coming out that uses it. It could be very interesting to see where that goes, how much it takes advantage of these Series S and X, right? And go from there. But it could be very cool. The gameplay could be an interesting thing. They're saying they're focusing on the gameplay. They're focusing on the combat, which was somewhat lackluster in the first one.
I do agree with that.
And so if they make that all better, this could be a smash hit, right? It's hard to say, like, this year is already ridiculous as far as the number of awesome games that have come out. And we're in March.
I know.
It's nuts. And we haven't had the big hitters yet. Zelda's to come, Starfield's to come.
Oh, yeah.
All these it's nuts where we are. And so if this is yet another one that comes out this year, and it like is a runaway success, I mean, like, wow. So as far as the tech demo of just what they showed, I think that's going to be very cool for those who want to bring motion capture to games. This is just going to be a compelling platform, UE5 with MetaHuman, to do that, right? And the other thing that MetaHuman does is you can create sort of NPCs that are based on models from that. So you can capture certain things and just let random people with random configurations be running around doing certain actions just in the background, right?
Right.
And it's such a cool tech. This is how they did the Matrix demo, which was the other UE5 tech demo. It was a tech demo, right? It didn't really play much, right? So, but that's how they did that, where there's actual human beings running around everywhere. It looked real. It looked like a real. It was great. And if that can become a reality and not run at 24 frames per second,
if you didn't mention it, Hargeet, I was going to talk about the frames.
That would suck. If it can run at reasonable frame rates, that's going to be one of the trade-offs here, right? Graphics do, they require a lot of processing, and it may be that's a trade-off we have to make. That this game could be a 30 FPS game. Right, stunning. Or you say I cut it back to UE4 mode, it doesn't look as stunning, and you get a 60 FPS, right? And I don't know how all that works. A lot of this is, I'm sure, going to take advantage of Nanite and Lumen, and those are fantastic technologies, but I've not seen them run really, really performant yet. Now, Fortnite does run, I think it's 60. with some of that turned on.
Yeah.
So there's hope, right? There's hope.
Right,
So
right.
we'll see where it goes. Certainly between Epic and Microsoft, there's enough talent to understand UE to try to make this happen. And I'm sure the folks in Ninja Theory are working with all the talent at like Coalition and others that know UE plus the actual Unreal team. If this is the big first tech demo of it, right? This is going to be the big game that comes out with UE. I'm sure Epic wants it to be a hit, right? They want this mouthpiece, right? So hopefully that's what happens here. And, it'll come out awesome. And I hope there's a 60 FPS and not a 24 locked.
Yeah, I did have like a thought. I love that you mentioned the frames, because as soon as you started talking about Matrix, my mind, I mean, it was awesome. I played it. I thought it was super cool and it looked amazing. But my brain also goes, okay, 24 frames was a problem. Like, can the Series X handle this going to 60 frames or something like that? But my mind also said, what if they were to use this with the same fidelity in games that stayed at, I don't care if it was 20, movies are at 24 frames, right? 24 frames or 30 frames. Just hear me out for a second. What if it was like a Walking Dead type of situation where you had like a Walking Dead game, right? Where you're going through, point and click adventures, but you have that photorealism. You don't need those high frame rates. I think it would be a great use case scenario for other games like a Telltale to make games that look like the Matrix, that are point and click, where you don't have to have that type of frame rate. So there's a use case.
Sure. But as far as
not for anything else, though.
It's going to be actiony, right? So
right.
I'd prefer to have 60 if possible.
Oh,
now
absolutely.
Fortnite, again, it gives me hope that Fortnite says, "Cool, we'll just turn those features off. You can still use UE5. We'll turn those features off." And I think the way they do it is they fake it out and go back to the old models, so you don't use the Lumen ray tracing and the nanite. The construction of all the small objects, it just falls back to the old model, so it'll look less nice, but it'll work, right? So as long as it does give you that option, and you can choose, you want the beautiful graphics or you want to have the frame rate, that would be awesome, as long as they give you that toggle. And then you can make the choice, and I think it'll happen. I hesitate to say that Microsoft has learned all the lessons, but at this point, you would hope they've learned enough of the lesson that you said you were the power box. You need to have 60 FPS. That's kind of just a bottom line requirement.
Yeah.
You need to have 60 FPS.
You certainly do for first party, right? I mean,
yeah,
you
exactly.
You have to have it for first party.
And I think Aaron Greenberg said that, right? That their games will have target 60 FPS will be available, right? So that should be the thing. And I hope they do that across both the Series S and X. But yeah, at least the X better have a 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't think, as far as the beauty of it, I know it'll look good. And I hope they put every ounce of tech in this to give us the best experience for UE5 as the launching point for UE5 for this gen, which will finally be like the next gen gaming, right?
Yeah.
Really only had cross gen stuff. And, these games scale back to, like Hogwarts is going to scale back to the Switch, right? So it's not really a, next gen only game. This is the stuff that hopefully will look and play next gen. So we'll see how it goes, right? So,
yeah, I'm with you. That would be amazing if that happened. Which it should. It really should be the standard, like you said.
Yeah.
A quick shout out to everybody that's in there. Over 45 people in the chat right now. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you guys.
Also like to welcome out John Wolf and Crazy Lou. Just so you guys know, I did make you guys moderators, so you have a little fun in there if you need to keep a quell on everybody.
Yep.
With great power comes great responsibility. Just remember that, John.
Yeah, I know John was playing Diablo. I know he said he was playing Diablo 4, so he didn't get much done outside of that. So I'm right there with you. I played the crap out of Diablo 4, which hopefully is coming to Game Pass, right? As long as this ABK deal happens. I am curious to see if something like the timeline. Let's just let's pretend that they can get the ABK deal done by E3. do you guys think we would be getting Diablo like onto Game Pass right away? There's a lot of debate going on, like, well, that's going to piss off a lot of people because of pre-orders and stuff like that. Which is, by the way, one of the reasons I
mean,
didn't pre-order.
yeah.
But
That's
cheap.
on you. If you pre-ordered that, you know,
Right.
like you can't blame anybody that it's coming to Game Pass. That like this deal had been announced since January of last year. So
Right.
Yeah.
if you pre-ordered, that's on you.
That's on
right?
you.
You know
exactly.
full well this is eventually coming to Game Pass. So like, you know, it was marketed by Xbox. Like there's nothing blocking it. So
Yeah.
it's coming to Game Pass. Whether it's coming late to Game Pass or day and date, right? We'll see. But it's coming to Game. Like you know,
It's
it's
coming.
coming to Game
Yeah.
Pass.
Well, and
100% it's coming.
some people were saying that one of the, I guess the designers or guys in charge of the game was like, you know, as of right
Yeah,
now,
Rod
it's not
Ferguson.
scheduled
Right.
to come out on Game Pass. Well, of course, he's
But-
going to say that because
Right.
hey,
he
the
has
deal's
to.
not
Because it
done.
isn't.
And if
Yes,
for
he
some reason the
has to
deal
say
doesn't
that.
get done,
Right.
they want to be able to make money.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
you gotta say. 'cause
So that
it
makes
isn't.
total
It's
sense.
not-
He has to
They
do
can't
that.
make those deals yet, right? Exactly, right. So, but once it's owned, the first thing Phil's going to do is, Rod, you're putting this on Game Pass. But
Yep.
tell me how
And
it
what's
gets
Rod?
there.
And what's Rod gonna say? Yes, sir.
Yes,
you got
Phil.
it. Yes, sir. Yes, Phil. Absolutely,
Hey, buddy,
sir.
how's it going?
Right away. Where's my
Phil,
money?
you
yeah.
sign my checks again? Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's okay.
I don't know. What do you think, Dave? How you feeling about Hellblade in general?
Oh, I'm looking
and
forward
what
to
you
it. I think
just
it's going
saw?
to be fantastic. I'll give you that short answer right there. It's going to
Yeah.
be a blast. I mean, just looking at it, I mean, and we know it's coming to Game Pass, so
Yep.
we're going to try it. You'd be stupid not to try it if you already have Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, and let's just hope that it lives up to the hype. And like I said, Phil has made the comment that he went and saw it, and then on his way back, he's like, "I got to play the first one completely through now." Why would he mention that? It's because he's excited about what he saw, and there's
Yeah.
a reason why they bought the company to begin with. Is because these guys had a lot of potential, and
Yeah.
I think it's just
Crazy.
really just getting. I think they're just getting started over there.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
this year
agree
could
with
be
you.
so full of Xbox games at Game of the Year. Because
I know it.
Diablo's looking like a contender. I mean,
Yep.
just think of like the Hi-Fi Rush is still
Hi-Fi
something that
Rush.
came out. It's a 90
Yep.
meta, right? You just keep going. It's crazy what they have coming. It's nuts.
Yeah. I've been a Hellblade 2. I think it's coming out this year, guy. I think I'm actually changing my mind. I
maybe
hate
too
to
many
say
games.
that. I think it. I'm wondering, like, does Microsoft push it like February of next year
Yeah.
just to get out of their own way? You know what I mean? And
Is
third
COD's
party,
coming?
third party, right? Which will be owned by them. It's like,
Yes.
so it's a tough one because you go from like 2022, which was just bare bones, nothing's going on first party, to the exact opposite extreme where I'm already running into it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
I feel so two-faced because I was like, where's all my first party games? Now I'm like, okay, slow your roll a little bit. We good. We good.
No. Bring it. Let's go.
Bring it. He's just like, bring it
Uh,
all. My back catalog can't get any worse. Just
Well,
keep dumping them on
That's
there.
why
It's
it's in
fine.
Game Pass. You get to
Diablo.
it when you want
Yeah,
to.
it's true. I know, but I have to forget. This is why I have Excel sheets, Dave. Like I literally have to like remind myself
Do you
to
think
play
Hogwarts
games.
even makes it into that gaudy discussion? It's one of those games that was
If
so
it doesn't,
good, right? But
If it doesn't, I'll be absolutely. I'm just gonna say I'll be bullshit. If that
Now,
game doesn't get in there, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. I'm telling you right now.
remake should be discussed because it's a remake. Should it be
I
discussed
seen
as
that on the
gaudy?
internet too. I don't know. That's a great question. I'll tell you where I fall, and I'm gonna turn it right back at you guys. I'll go first. I'll jump on this grenade. I do think remakes should allow to be discussed as game of the year. Personally, I do. I don't like it if they remake the game 5 years later. Then I'm like, I'm kind of like, F them, like you money grabbing mother effers. But what do you guys think? Because I am seeing the discourse about Resident Evil and all the other remakes of games. Do you think they should be allowed in the game of the year discussion?
Hargeet, you're the guest. You go first.
I hesitate. Why? Because they had their, their bite at the apple pie, whatever.
Like they had their shot.
They had their shot when it came out,
Yeah.
and it was a fantastic game when it came out, right? So,
Right.
I hesitate to say it because look, Age of Empires 2 came to console. Should that be considered? And like, it just shouldn't. I don't think
Yeah,
it should.
I don't know. That's a
10-year-old game, right?
That's a
And,
really
like,
good point,
and it's a
dude.
great game, right? And if you have
Yeah.
the category of RTS, do you say, because that's one of the all-time great ones, right? Like, so do you say, okay, well, that should count? I don't think so.
Oh man,
think
you're
it
almost
should,
making
right?
it,
And
Hargeet. You're almost making me change my mind.
It's a tough one, but I
a
don't
tough
think
one.
unless you fund like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is not a remake, that's a reimagining, right? I think that should count because that's it. You're totally changing the game, right? You're not taking verbatim what was and then just redoing the scenery, making it up to speed to today's standards, right? And that's what RE4 Remake, with slight differences, is pretty much what that does, right?
Yeah.
But if they had said, no, we're reimagining the whole game, okay, now you got me. Okay, that makes sense, right? Because you had to rethink the whole story. You had to rethink all the dialogue. You had to but this is the same game. Essentially, it's the same game. So I don't think so. But yeah, again, if they did Final Fantasy VII Remake, I agree because that it totally reimagined the game, right? So in that case, I'm with you because you added so much more. Yeah, it's now it deserves to be considered.
Man, you bringing up age screws me up because like now I'm thinking, because Age 4 is supposed to drop this year, and that game to me is much better than Age 2, and now I'm just like, crap. Does that kind of fall into the same category? Should that be considered?
I don't think it should be considered. It was considered last year. I think you're done. You got your take. That's the way it is. But Age 2 is a perfect example. It's like one of the all-time greats.
It's a very good example.
But yeah, you came to console, but you came out 10 years ago. So I don't.
Yeah. And even then, if it gets nominated, that doesn't mean that it's going to win. You know what I'm saying?
Very
because
true.
there'll be people that have your same viewpoint of like, you know what? Okay, great, it got the nomination, but let's go with this one because it really shows.
Which is very likely if they were to get nominated, you almost can guarantee they're not going to win, right?
Yeah.
But what do you think, Dave? Do you think I think the real debate is should they even be nominated, right? Because as soon as you cross that threshold, it's over, and then all remakes from now on
and you're kicking somebody else out, right?
Right.
You're kicking somebody else out of that category.
So,
right. Well, they need to have a 10 like they do at the Oscars. 10 games need to be in the game.
I know it really does need to expand, right?
That's a good point.
That's what I believe.
That's a very good point.
So also, before you get to answer your question, I do want to say a quick thank you and welcome to Mr. Boomstick Excel.
What's up, Boom?
And yeah, exactly. And also Kay Asante is in the house as well. Jared Mack, there's a whole bunch of great people in there, and we appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight. Thank you so much. Over 50 people watching us live right now. We have the one and only, the great one, Hargeet Chani. And Hargeet, man, we're so grateful to have you on here tonight. So we're not done yet. We're going to keep going. Have you got a little more time? We can stick around.
Fine.
Cool. Yeah. All right. We won't maybe have you as long as like the Iron Lords would, but we'll have you down for a little longer.
We won't do that. We need to take pee breaks. I'm not going to lie. My bladder can't handle that at my age.
That's too funny. That's so funny. Well, I'm older than you are. Give me a break.
I know.
Colostomy bag. But okay. Just kidding. Don't get that picture in your head. No.
Oh my God.
All right then.
Sorry, chat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Kay Asante left. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously though. But yeah, man. I'm just let's get to another subject. Let's go. Another topic, man. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So the other thing I had on here was kind of more along the lines of I guess this is the UE5 conversation today, and that has to do with Fortnite in their creative mode. I don't know if you guys saw the UEF. Yeah, UEFN. Say that 10 times fast. So Fortnite we got Fortnite creative mode 2.0. I just started playing Fortnite. I'm not gonna front. Not that long ago. I just started playing the no build mode, and it's my favorite frickin' multiplayer game. Period. It's just topped Halo for me. It's above COD. It's above Overwatch right now. I'm absolutely loving it. I fell in love with it fast. I wish I had played it earlier, but now they're is this whole creation thing that is allowing anybody and their mother to go to the Epic store and download kind of like a specific, almost like a specific version of UE5, so you can create your own island within Fortnite, which I think is pretty dang cool. We saw the demo. I don't know if you saw this, Dave. I don't know if you saw Hargeet, but basically the demo actually started off with it looked like COD. It looked like COD. That I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like a giant robot, but it was like photorealism. It looked more like Hellblade or like a COD or something that just did not look like Fortnite whatsoever. And then they pan down and you see, like, I think it was like a fish character or something, like one of the characters from Fortnite itself doing all like the symbols, like to the other teammate to tell him, like, take him down, go around the corner. And then they started showing like aliens and all this Fortnite type of stuff in a setting that was photorealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Damn is all I have to say. When I saw that, I was like, okay. So this is basically allowing anyone in the community to download this and just start creating and actually make some money, right? So the creators will earn a percentage. Some people have gotten this wrong. Some people thought this was 40% individual. It is not. So this is a pool of money that they are getting from all the creators, right? That pool is 40%, and you get a percentage of that percentage, right?
Still
so
pretty good.
Listen, it's very good because Halo ain't doing that. And you're seeing, and I've heard from some of the Forge guys on Halo, they are moving in droves right now, apparently, from what I've heard from a couple of forgers online. They're saying a lot of their guys, they're saying a lot of their guys are moving over to Fortnite to create over there because they're going to get paid. And I was like, well, I mean, it seems obvious, like why didn't like Halo do this years ago and stuff? But I think it's pretty exciting for creators or even wannabe developers, like someone like myself. Like, I'm probably going to mess with this. I probably won't get paid because my maps will probably be terrible. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool and it's exciting, and it's neat to see that you're going to be able to make modes in different types of, like they were talking about RPGs. Like, you can literally make kind of whatever you want. You do not have to make battle royales. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I'm curious, Hargeet, if you watched the Fortnite side of their.
I watched the whole GDC conference, like the 90 minutes or whatever, and it included this piece, the UE5 demo.
Right.
Yeah. So one of the things that's interesting here is this basically lets them create an equivalent to any multiplayer game, right? Including Call of Duty,
including COD,
right.
Which they already did.
Saying, oh, that can't happen. Call of Duty's a one and only game that does like, really? So Fortnite is a small potatoes, nothing? Okay. And guess what they just did? They basically upended the game. So you can do any of those Call of Duty modes. You can do whatever you want in here. And it looks like anything you want to make it look like. It can be cartoony. It can be real. It can be whatever you want, right? So the whole idea that the gaming world isn't dynamic is just so bunk. You never know what comes up. And, COD upended Halo. Who thought that was going to happen when Halo 2 was around?
Yep.
Right? Okay, that's
Very
fine.
true.
This could upend COD. You don't know, right? Like, people might get annoyed with the whole paying $70 and, whatever. And it's like, well, Fortnite's like free to play and like everybody's playing and I can just go there and play. Okay, why don't I just do that? Like, and I can play anywhere I want, right? Literally anywhere I want with any player everywhere. It's all crossplay. Okay. Mm-hmm. So why not do that, right? So, this could upend it, right? And this is an interesting, change. And the demo they showed was so crazy and how little time it took to make it, right? It was like, wow. And then you can change modes. You can do whatever you want. Nice. This is going to be very interesting. Now, the other thing I thought about when I saw this was if they are moving Halo to Unreal Engine, Forge essentially becomes this. And they've already laid the foundations for it with this, They just copy paste and say, "Here's Forge," right?
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you transitioned into that. Yep.
And user-generated content, I think this model needs to be adopted more. Like people need to get paid for some of that content. If they're driving engagement, then they should get something for it. So I think that's a cool thing to do. Not does Minecraft do that? I know Flight
Roblox
Simulator
does. I don't know. Does
I don't know if Minecraft does.
Minecraft?
Roblox, right?
I don't
Roblox
play
does it.
Minecraft. Yeah.
I think Flight Simulator has content, but you have to pay for the content. But yeah, I think this model is more appropriate, right? As the engagement grows, it should get give some of that to the developer of that content. So we'll see. I mean, this is a new economy mode that's coming up, which is awesome, right? So as that grows, it'll hopefully change the way these games start growing, or even not growing because they're not doing it, right? So we'll see. It was impressive though. It's pretty cool. And then panning down to a character that's typical Fortnite cartoony crap.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that's funny, but but I'm also wondering if that changes too, right? You could say they're all in mech suits. They could be like Halo characters. Right.
So, it doesn't. Right. I think you're on. I think you're right. I don't think it has to be. I don't think the NPCs or the main characters themselves have to be Fortnite. Look, I could be totally wrong. I still got to get into this and look more into it. I'm just scratching the surface on the story.
There's your entry there, RHETRI. Read that on the screen.
Okay, Asante, Minecraft does have paid user generated content, like
which is why it also maintains a massive
makes sense
market share.
Right.
Is it still like the top game? I think it's like 100 million users per month or something ridiculous.
Sure as hell up there.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you never know. Like you said, like it's a possibility that Fortnite could also dethrone COD, because I think you guys were talking about what makes more money on one of the, I can't remember which podcast, but it is COD over Fortnite, believe it or not, and that's because of COD sales every year. You take away if COD was free, Fortnite would be the winner, right? For MTX and content.
That may happen with Game Pass.
And it could, that could absolutely happen. You could see those. You could see those flip. Everyone's so worried about COD, being off of Sony and being the king forever. And how is anyone going to dethrone them? I think it's possible. I think it's absolutely possible. And who knows? It could be Fortnite, or it could be somebody else that we don't even see coming. So, what do you think, Dave? What are your thoughts on this whole creation mode 2.0 on in Unity, not Unity, and Unreal Engine?
It's a no-brainer.
Not Unity.
It's something they definitely should be doing. I'm glad that they're doing it, breaking the ice with this. And I mean, gaming is so much fun. I mean, we all love it. We all do it. We're all talking about it because we enjoy it so much. And even though I'm not a developer, designer, programmer, if this kind of gives you that little bit of a window with simple tools to be able to, to kind of take the game you love, but maybe put your own little spin on it, or maybe create something that nobody's really thought of with it. That's great, man. There's so many people in this community and that are gamers that have creativity just bursting out of them. And then this will just give them a good, another place to channel that. And, and we're all going to benefit from it, because if it's, I mean, I used to love
because you get to play
Little Big Planet.
Right. But no, I was gonna reiterate what you said. Like we all are gonna benefit, because they're gonna make the community is gonna make all the stuff for us, and then it gets vetted through Epic, and then we all get to play it. I mean, the modes, some of them are already out. So, and Little Big Planet, that's a great example right there. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, Dave.
No, that's cool. It was John from Xbox Era, I believe. He actually, one of his levels that he designed is featured in Halo. So that's in Forge. So that's awesome.
I forgot about that.
So, there's, like I said, there's so many creative people in the community, and all I can say is everybody better be very careful when they download Crazy Louie's level, because he's probably going to be Crazy Lou with the Fortnite character in the shower. Hello, fuck everybody. I'm just kidding with you, Crazy Lou. I love you. He's in the chat going, what? Blasphemy. I'm just kidding. But no, but seriously, can you imagine what he's going to come up with?
Oh
Ooh,
man,
could
I
be
would love to see
crazy.
it though.
That's all
Yeah.
I got, man.
Oh yeah. I'm just excited to see that Epic is doing this, and that they changed the whole financial model for creators as well. It's a step in the right direction. I think Hargeet is onto something, saying like I think this model is really good. It's also a model that could take a game that's dying and just completely revive it in 180 something, and just keep, make it survive and possibly flourish.
Halo, maybe?
Like like Halo. I've been beating on that drum for a long time, right? I love the last season that that just came out. I think it's great. It's definitely going in the right direction. My only problem is what I want, and what I asked for was at least a team of 2 that just sit there in a room all day and just look at everyone else's creations and start and vet at a quicker pace, because we just need more maps quicker, right?
Hey,
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Read
Asante?
that. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of John, he related on the latest Xbox Era podcast that one of the guys he worked with on the Halo Forge Council was hired by Epic and is leading this Fortnite builder project. What?
There you go.
Wow.
Good.
That is very cool. I did not know that. Thank you, Kay, for that bit of information. I am not okay. You could put that one back up. I was going to read the comment, but I was not reading who said it because I could not. Dreadful Sean. Sorry. People have created entire Skyrim towns in Forge. That's true. Even made the Bat Cave with the suits and Bay Mobile. I did see the Skyrim remakes by some of the Forge guys. That was really cool. I think they did Whiterun and some other places in Skyrim as well. Sorry, I hope you guys can't hear that.
No,
Someone's just knocking at my door.
That's not a big deal. Everybody wants to beat RHETRI. That's all right.
My dogs are making noise. I'm like, I hope my gate on my thing is working, because
you know what? Podcasts are real, baby. That's the way it is, and that's okay.
Yep. You gonna hear my dogs
AAA
barking.
Pitfall, huh? Jeez.
That'd be hilarious. But
King
speaking of oddball things that might happen, I really hope they remaster all the King's Quest games. I don't know how many people played those games. I loved them. I thought they were great. So I would love to have that happen. I don't know how much that would actually cost. So it can't be that much, but that would be fantastic.
Pitfall. AAA. After ABK deal, we get a AAA Pitfall. Oh man.
Yeah. That's what we were just talking about. I just had that one up there.
That would be cool.
Yep. Awesome. But yeah, wow. RHETRI, I know you got one more subject in the can that we were going to bring up. So
yes,
let's touch base on that, because I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So we also got. Are you talking about this one? Tetris movie coming out March 31st on Apple TV. I don't know if anyone's seen the previews for this, but it is. I know. Like when
you hear it, you think Tetris the movie.
When you say it out loud, everyone just goes like. I think a lot of people go, "Why? Why are they doing?"
Right.
Okay, hold on. This is about the story, the creator, and the guy who helped the creator market it to. This isn't like animation or anything. So
it's actually a pretty good drama from what we're people that have seen it already are talking about. That it's that it has a little bit of humor in it for sure.
Games of all time, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why, how they got it onto the Game Boy. Basically, because Tetris was a nothing burger. It was out for a while, and this guy basically was like, this thing's awesome, I got to bring it to the masses. And it's a story about how he's got to take trips everywhere to try to convince people that this
he had to make some deals with the Russian mafia, and then he also had to make deals with Nintendo to make it to where this was their pack-in for the original Game Boy. There is so much to how all that came together that it's pretty fascinating. I've read some of the books and stuff on this subject, so I'm looking forward to this movie myself. So
hey, and if you don't have Apple TV, I got a solution for you. There's this thing called Game Pass Perks. If you got Game Pass, guess what? You can get 3 months of Apple TV and Apple Music for free. And I'll tell you, that doesn't really go away, right? People, I know on my channel I put out stuff that comes and goes for perks. the Apple thing has been on there consistently for like a year and a half, and it just keeps coming back and it just keeps coming back. So, you know, if you want to binge a bunch of Apple shows, and there's some very good ones on there, you can definitely do that, and you do it for the price of nothing, which you're already paying for.
You gonna watch this
so-
movie? No. You're too busy playing games, right?
Nah, I'm not watching a movie about
Finish the ones I
Tetris.
have. I've stopped watching movies since the pandemic, and I don't miss it. I just don't care anymore.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
So
you know what? This is the biggest form of entertainment today. Is video games.
So I'd just rather play games.
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm
I
with
hear you there. I do watch a lot less movies than I ever have, but I used to be a movie holic, and then I became more like I watch a lot of television. I guess I watch a lot of shows now because there's just so many good shows, and of course I play a ton of video games, maybe too many, but yeah. But let's see, we got anything from the chat? I don't think so. Tetris movie looks dope. All right, so 3-Bit saw the trailer. Thank you, 3-Bit. Somebody cares about my Tetris subject.
I'm with you, man. I want to see it. I'll watch
There
it.
we go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks interesting. Truth be told, I just watched 22 hours of Double Fine, their documentary about making their video games on a game that wasn't even one of my favorites. So I love the behind the scenes stuff. So if you guys get a chance to watch the Double Fine documentary, it's free on YouTube. It's really cool. Those guys, they don't hide who they are, and it looks like a very fun studio to work at. They show them way before the acquisition with Microsoft and after, and how that affected their studio. Spoiler alert, it didn't. They got to make a better game that they wanted, you know, as a lot of developers will say, after getting acquired from Microsoft or after getting onto Game Pass. It's the best thing that they've done. It's helped a lot of companies out, a lot of smaller companies as well. So, you know, don't listen to those guys who are talking crap about Game Pass on the Twitter's Twitterverse there.
Game
But
Pass is a good deal.
Game Pass is absolutely a good deal. You know, that's why there's a long list that is it's like a hard VIP club that you just can't get into because there's that many people trying to get into Game Pass right now. If it was so bad, everyone and their mother would be able to get in, and Microsoft be begging for content. They're not. It's the other way around. So.
Yep.
My dog. I'm sorry. My dog is making some whiny, weird noise right now.
It's all right. It's all right. Oh goodness. Well, gosh,
Yeah.
I think we'll probably go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you everybody that was here tonight. In total, we've had almost 100 plus people have come in and out through the chat tonight. So thank you so much for being here. And Hargeet, cannot thank you enough for taking the time to come on. Hopefully in the future, maybe you'll come back and join us again. We'd love to have you back on sometime.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We love your insights. For
Yeah,
sure.
really do. Your perspective is spot on, and a lot of times you help bring clarity to some of the subjects that are honestly confusing or a little tough to try and get through the minutia. And I appreciate that very much. So Hargeet, tell everybody where they can find you and all the shows you're on now.
Yeah, everywhere.
Pretty much.
So as far as Game On Daily, check out gameondaily.com and then youtube.com/gameondaily, and go live is 4 p.m. on Saturdays Eastern time. Though this time it was 5 p.m. because of the oddities of daylight savings changes between the US and the UK. So I assume that's going to flip in the next couple of weeks or whatever.
I hope so.
And then it looks like I'm on RDX, so RDX, which is
you're a regular. You're definitely a regular.
Eastern. And then Boom's show, Primetime Gaming with Boom, 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. And I think that's all the ones I'm in. So, and then I do not have any social media. I don't do all the Twitter stuff and whatnot. But hchani is my gamer tag.
Yeah.
If you want to see me on Xbox.
Well, just so everybody knows, I did put in the show notes below, which will appear on everything or Spotify, plus also in the YouTube. They'll be able to reach out to Hargeet. He is on Discord, and he is also in as Gamer Pass. His game tag is in below. So please check that out as well. We've got all that information there for him, as well as a link to Game On Daily, for the work and stuff that he does there as well.
Yep.
So because like I said, we appreciate you so much. And RHETRI, let's tell everybody about where they can find you and also your Discord channel too.
Yeah, you can find me right here every Sunday at 7. So please come back. we got some fantastic guests coming up too. I don't want to say who it is, but we got some awesome guests coming. And of course, the Game Pass Daily. I always do that. I always do the wrong side. Game Pass _daily for Twitter and Game Pass Daily on TikTok and YouTube, guys, for all your Game Pass news. Obviously, I'm making short form content. So for you, those guys who don't like to stick around for 10, 15-minute videos, I got you. Everything's 1 minute or under, baby. You're good.
There you go.
And that's where you can find me. And of course, if you guys want to join us, join our Discord channel. It is Community Game Nights. Nights is spelled KN, as in Knights of the Round Table type of thing. So yeah, if you guys want to come out and game with us, please do. We play Halo, Overwatch, Fortnite, Fall Guys, all kinds of stuff. Racing games, whatever you guys want to play, I'm down to play. So join us, man. We'd love to have you.
And in May, I have a feeling you guys are going to play a lot of Redfall. Just have a feeling.
We'll be playing the crap out of Red. There's absolutely no doubt. I'll be playing a lot of Redfall. And Diablo. I played Diablo too. I played the crap out of that as well. So yeah, all the games. I'm an equal opportunity gamer, and so a lot of people in our community that are in there already. So
Thank God.
I don't discriminate. Yeah.
Thank goodness. I appreciate that. That's awesome. But gosh, I'll wrap up by saying that I just recorded a couple of my shows are in the can for Outbreak Gamers. The one that'll drop tomorrow is 108 Dragons TV. Lemon to a lot of people who know him, and he's a pretty good guy, and he doesn't hold back. I'll tell you that right now. Lemon lays it all on the line. And then next Monday, I'm going to I just tried to interview. Actually, before I did this tonight, I'm going to have Luke Steele will be on. So nice behind the scenes with him and explaining how he got to where he is and his opinions on the ABK deal and just how things are going to fall out. Could be pretty interesting. Ooh, yeah.
Luke's a good one, man. I like Luke.
Yeah, me too. We'll try and get him on here as well. But Hargeet, again, thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So you were awesome.
Absolutely.
It was our pleasure, man. I mean that. And thanks to everybody in the chat that came out tonight and hung out with us. Thank you so much for being here. And hopefully you guys will come back around and make this your everyday Sunday thing. Yeah, we're trying. We're trying to. We're that thin line. We want to be best to Iron Lords. We're trying not to step on fawns any, but we're just trying. We're just trying to find. We're trying
to do this. There's so many of us.
little bob and weave kind of thing, but we'll try it because Sundays are for gaming, right? Yeah, have us on in the background while you're playing your whatever game, and there you go. Well, thanks again for everybody being here and joining us at Gamers Council.